Hey, it's your girl, Miss Rena, baby, coming to you for that Wednesday wisdom. And like I always say, it's not always about my wisdom. It's just generally my opinion. So, hope y'all ready for today, because y'all know I'm about to give y'all that Bugetto motivation. Okay, so today's topic is going to be about drug usage in today's era. I'm not gonna say just 2018, but maybe the 2000s, or I've noticed it more so as I've been an adult. So I'll say I've noticed it more so since I've been about 22 and I'm now 30. So I've been noticing like the different drugs that are being used. Okay. Let's kick it into gear. Now, what I'm discussing about drugs is how today's society, my age group, tends to think that like the use of drugs such as cocaine, popping pills, mollies, e-pills constantly, all of that is just like the same equivalent as smoking weed. Like, it's no big deal. Who cares? Like, it ain't nothing wrong with me. I ain't a low-key crackhead. Like, I'm good. I'm cool. Okay. I mean, I want to know y'all opinion on it. So, like I always say, comment below. Let me know. Interact with me. I need it and I love it. However, my opinion is going to stay my opinion. And before I get into it and start like diving into the topic at hand, I'm not judging anybody in particular. This is not a subliminal YouTube. This is not a come to Jesus moment where I'm trying to like, well, it is a come to Jesus moment if anybody needs to have this come to Jesus moment, but it's not for a particular cause or situation to where I'm trying to like be shady or funny or, you know, exploit somebody, you know, whatever, because I know people tend to take things personal, especially the town where I'm from. You know, it's about this small, so a lot of times people think that you're trying to throw shade or throw shots, but not at all. That's not the case. I get requests about topics come on my heart. I pray about topics, and this is just one that I was kind of requested to discuss, and I also had prayed on it, and I just felt like discussing it. So now that I've just done that rambling, sorry if you guys got bored. Come back. Don't go. I'm about to get y'all some real shit. Some real stuff. I'm about to get y'all something that y'all really want to hear, not me rambling. So, I personally don't see anything wrong with a person who smokes weed. Weed has been around for centuries. It is to me more of a, well, I don't say centuries, years. I don't know how many centuries it's been, but years. And it's, to me, it's a natural thing. It's grown, it's herbal. Like, you don't really hear about people like committing murders or high wrecking, you know, like drunk driving and stuff like that on weed. It's used for pain relief nowadays. You know, a lot of states have, not a lot, but a few states have made it legal, especially for the medical marijuana and things of that nature. Like, I grew up around people that smoke weed like all my life, so it's not a big deal to me if I go over to somebody's home and they're like, oh, I smoke weed. Okay, no big deal. Do you, boo? Now, I will say that when a person just wants to stay high 24/7, that is a problem, because it's like now you're using it as a drug abuse. Like, you're trying to numb yourself. Like, you can't even go through a day or an hour with being sober and in your right state of mind. Same thing that I would say about a person that medicates themselves with alcohol. You're drinking constantly. You're not using it for a social aspect anymore, or for a relaxation aspect, or for a pain. Whatever the case may be, you are now using this because you're dependent on it. You've become addicted to it. So that is a way that weed can become a problem. But let's just act like that's not the situation. We're not talking about people that are addicted. We're just talking about people that smoke weed. Okay, do you, boo? Get high. Whatever. Sometimes we get high. We don't care what they say. Hey. No worries. But nowadays, I see that people are just partaking in other drugs. For a while, about 5 years ago, I know my age group was partaking in popping pills a lot. Ecstasy pills. Or pop the molly, I'm sweating. Woo! And it was like the thing to do. It was like not a big deal. And I'm not going to disclose if I've tried any of these drugs or if I haven't tried any of these drugs. That's none of y'all damn business. No, I'm just playing. That's not the case. I'm not a druggie. Drugs are not for me. I've tried some drugs. but it's never been a thing that I've liked it or that I have taken to, thankfully. I'm more of a social drinker, but I'm not an everyday drinker at all by any means necessary. That's just my disclaimer for myself. But I just noticed that everybody was popping these pills all the time, like around the clock, like every weekend. Then it become not just on the party nights, like an everyday thing. And those drugs have like, some of them have like heroin, crack, cocaine, all kind of other drugs in them, and you're just popping them like clockwork. And now all these songs just make these drugs seem like they're cool and they're okay to do. Like, no matter how you want to slice the bread or the pie, you popping these pills constantly, you are a pill popping animal, druggie. I don't care what nobody say, how you want to switch it around, flip it around. Like, that is not something that is normal, that you should just be doing on the regular. You have a problem, you may want to seek help. You are just a fly crackhead, okay? And that's what a lot of y'all don't realize nowadays. My era, I know about 50 million people, it seems like, that's doing drugs constantly. And it's like they feel like it's not a problem. Like, just because they still get up and go to work and they're functioning in society, it's like, oh, I don't have a problem. I'm not a druggie. Yes, you are. You're a druggie. Now, am I saying that you're hurting anybody else and you're not handling your business? No, I didn't say that that was the case. But you are a druggie. Now, whether you think a druggie is a bad or a good thing, then that's up to you and that's for your discretion. I'm not saying you're a bad person or whatever the case may be. That's not what I'm saying when I say this. My points are not to point you out in a negative way or say you ain't this and you ain't that and you a horrible person because you do drugs and you ain't. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying stop trying to convince yourself that you are not a druggie, because you are a druggie. So why do you get offended when somebody says you do drugs? And I don't do drugs. You're doing drugs, bro. Like, you're doing drugs. And I just want to know, when did this become, y'all getting too much cleavage. When did this become so acceptable in society? Like, when did this become okay? Like, I remember when people did drugs, like back in the day, it was like a secret. Like, they didn't want nobody to know they was doing these drugs. They were hiding these drugs from people because, again, nobody wants to be labeled as a druggie. I mean, some people do, but you get what I'm trying to say. Don't be so literal, my friends. But nowadays, it's like all out in the open. Let's switch to the new drug now. So pills are real popular. Of course, there's still people that do them, but I'm saying like they were just super, super like popular. Now it's cocaine. Everybody's doing cocaine. Like, everybody and their damn mama. It's to the point now when I meet people and like, especially like guys or something, I'm like, do you do cocaine? I remember when it used to just be, do you smoke weed? Now I gotta ask niggas, do you snort? Is you shooting up pills? What are you doing? What's your drug of choice? What you got going on? Okay, I need to know these things, okay? And that is a sad reality when I have to ask those things and before I decide if I want to familiarize myself with a person. Like, why? Yet, some people act like that's not a big deal. Like, I'm out one day and some dude come up to my homegirl and he like, hey, trying to get some Coke? And she like, Coca-Cola? No, I don't want no soda. Because she's like oblivious to the life of drugs. And he like, no, I'm talking about, do you want to go do a line? It's not funny because I mean business. Like, I'm so serious with y'all. Like, I'm so serious. But sometimes I have to laugh to not shake my head because I do a lot of praying for my people. My era, my age group is just, I do. But I just have to try to find humor, which is not really humor. It's like that laugh where it's like that uncomfortable laugh, like that, oh, this nigga tripping, I need to get the hell up out of here laugh. You know, that's what that laugh is about. You know, and I'm just like, when did that become okay to go up to a woman and ask her, does she want to do a line? Like, can I get your number? You trying to hang out? Do you want to do some drugs? It's basically what you just said to her. But people try to make it sound like, it's not, I'm not saying, do you want to do drugs? Well, then what are you saying? Because it sounds to me like you're saying, do you want to do drugs? I just want somebody to, it's not even that I want somebody to. I just want to have people understand that while you see the new trends of this drug, that drug, this drug, so you do it for partying. Usually people do it for partying. These things can become addiction. These things can become habits. These things can cause you to lose your home, to lose your family, to be out there by yourself. These things can alter your brain, your process of thinking. These things make you turn your back on people that got your back. It makes you evil and manipulative and malicious to people that genuinely love you and that you genuinely love, but you have gotten so addicted to these drugs that it has altered your thinking. And because my generation of people are still capable of possibly going to work, having a couch to lay on, and or whatever, and they still have clothes and they're still dressing nice. The guys are still looking fly. They still look good. The women is still looking fine. They feel like it's not a problem. Like it's the same equivalent as me going to go smoke a blunt. It's the same thing as doing cocaine. It's the same thing as me popping pills. They think that just because they're not shooting up into their arm with heroin, or they're not on the street at the corner store like the crackheads we see daily, begging for a rock, that they're not similar to that person or in that same boat. Like, I want y'all to start looking at yourself. If you are a person that is thinking that you don't have a problem with addiction and that these drugs are okay and it's just for fun, look at yourself. Look at where you are in life. Even if you're successful money-wise, look at the relationships that have suffered behind your drug use. Look at the person that you've become. All those signs are there that this is a drug that is causing you harm. This is not just something to do. And I hate that rappers talk about cocaine in songs like it's not a big deal. Like it's okay, and it encourages our youth and our peers to do the same things. But you don't know what a person is hurting from just because you see a person doing well financially and on the big screen. You don't know if they're really suffering behind closed doors. I am not going to sit here and say that every person that does drugs is living a bad life. That's not what I'm saying, because I know that there are some people that are getting by. I'm sure there are people that are getting by that are okay with their life, and they don't have a problem with doing their drugs, and they don't want to change it. So I'm not saying that at all. Once again, this is not me to judge you and tell you what to do and how you should live your life. But the thing that I'm referring to is stop being in denial about what you're doing. That is the point in this YouTube video. It is not a point to say, oh, you're living horrible. Because we can all say that to a person, but there's people that ain't doing drugs that's living horrible and that are horrible people and that have thrown their whole life away. So that's neither here nor there. Like, my point is to stop trying to convince yourself that it's not a drug, like a hardcore drug. You are doing a hardcore drug. You ain't just drinking a little bit of liquor with your homegirls or smoking a blunt. You are actually snorting drugs up your nose or ingesting it, or however you choose to do your drug of choice. You are doing hardcore drugs. You ain't just doing no drugs. You're doing hardcore drugs. So I just want people to be mindful of that and to know that and stop making excuses like, no, I'm not doing anything wrong. It's not. You're a crackhead, okay? You're just a functional fly, fine-ass crackhead, and you need to stay the hell away from me. Don't be trying to bamboozle me, okay, with your fine crackhead ass, okay? Nope, I don't want no parts. But I'm serious. Like, and once again, this is not a judgy post of, oh, I'm better than you, or this person is that, and if you do drugs, you're a horrible person, and I don't want nothing to do with you. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't understand how our generation feels like doing hardcore drugs is not different from smoking weed, and how they are so free to just whip out some drugs in front of people and just do the drugs in front of them. Like, no consideration. Like I said in the past, people were a little bit more discreet about their habits. Nowadays, it's like, oh, we're in the middle of the store and y'all just pull out some shit and just do it. You want some too? Like, it's just the norm. And I hate how our society makes so many things that to me are somewhat negative normal. And when you make things that are negative normal, it makes it more comfortable for other people to do it. People that may not have even wanted to do that are considered doing it, now they're doing it. And y'all may say, ain't nobody gonna force me to do nothing, da, 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 da. That's you, but everybody is not that strong-minded. So I just wish that people would lay it out on the table for what it really is. Like, hey, look, bro, I do these drugs. These drugs ain't good for you. I wouldn't suggest them. This is a hardcore drug. You do this, you a crackhead with me. Okay? But if you choose to do it, you choose to do it. Instead, it's like, oh, it's no big deal. You smoke weed? Do a line, too. You do a line? Pop a pill. Drink some liquor. Like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. And with that being said, I hope you guys got the concept, got the message. I love you guys. I am signing out. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Ring the bell so you can know when I will be talking again. And don't forget to follow me on all social networks. Snapchat, Daddy D, because I'm Zaddy, baby. And follow me on Instagram, Miss_Rena, baby. Toodles and manoodles. Oh, and don't forget, it's Wednesday, hump day. So if you humping, be safe and wrap it up. And don't be humping on nobody else's man, sis. All right. Toodles.